Good afternoon, and welcome to Camp 3 News. Debbie, I seem to have lost your audio. Have we got another technical issue going on here? Debbie, it might be worthwhile coming in and out. But anyway, we're just going to move forward a little bit because we haven't got a lot of time because there's so much to discuss. And obviously, we've had the situation in Iran this week, and I think we should start pretty much with that. Afternoon, Raoul, lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. And another beautiful day in the woods. Well, you know what? We've had some sunshine in the northwest of England. I hope it's been nice for you guys. We've had some lovely weather, which is unusual. So
hello.
You're back. Debbie's here. Hello, Debbie.
I didn't know if you could see me or hear me or whatever.
I don't know what happened then. I could see you, but I couldn't hear you. But last week I couldn't see you or hear you. But anyway, you're here now. So
I'm here now.
I hear you. So I was just going to start straight away, Debbie, because I was just saying that we've got a lot to get through, the Iran situation, and we've got other things we want to discuss as well. So let's bring in, I don't know if you saw this, Debbie, about middle of the night it would have been, the White House put something out on their socials, and I want to play this first and get your opinion on what this is.
Wake up, Daddy Son.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of!
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
Time to find out.
Maximum effort.
Here it comes. Now end this!
Flawless victory.
What do you think, Debbie?
What can you say? In plain sight, it's very dark, isn't it? Is it fear? Is it fear mongering? Is it they're trying to tell us something? Is this Donald Trump being the showman that he always was? Is this a hidden message? To me, it's just they're in plain sight. They're just telling us what's coming in plain sight. They're the smartest military, the smartest soldiers. Let's look at America. This is the future. What thinks you?
I think it's very sick, to be honest, if I'm being honest. I think it actually, look, when I saw that this morning, I thought, what kind of people do this? They've literally just slaughtered 160 children in a school, and then they're putting out propaganda material like that. I'm sorry, it just makes me sick, to be honest.
It's almost like they're seeing it all as a game. It's just a game, and let's include some snazzy Hollywood, futuristic. It's sick.
You're making a lot of jokes about it, Debbie. This is not
fun. But to me, it's satanic. You know, every time I see anything like this, I have to go right back to actually, this is satanic. It can't be anything else.
It actually really upsets me that you know, there's you know, every country that around the world has its issues with its governments and this, that, and the other. What arrogance have we, the right we have to say we can change somebody else's government anyway? And let's look at the history. We will very shortly in a minute. Is that, you know, these regime changes that happened in Iran are down to America and the UK anyway. The reason they're radicalized is down to the UK and America. Seriously, what's the arrogance? And the fact that they think this was going to be easy. They thought they were going to just go in there
and bam, it would all be over.
Smash it all to bits in a matter of days. Iran have been waiting for this. They've been
Yeah.
waiting for this.
They're well prepared for it. Donald Trump has bitten off far too much. I mean, we can talk about the whys and the wherefores in a bit, if you like.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Because there is no why and wherefore. But I can't see this ending well for anybody. And that, of course, as
Nobody.
we'll come on to, is deliberate. It's all intentional and deliberate. We
I-
know
we'll,
that.
we'll definitely have to talk about that for sure. I want to talk about, if you don't mind, a bit of the religious side of things, really, because obviously the Christian Muslim thing's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And what I've been seeing, when you are shown, say, when growing up, when I was a kid growing up, and you're watching some of our propaganda TV, and they're showing us, like, I remember watching a documentary when I was younger, and it was about Iran, and it had all these children in the school classroom saying how much they were being taught how to hate America and stuff like that. Yeah, and then you see these radicalized Muslim type, very strong Muslims, and the way they preach and the way they are, and blah blah blah. But then you see this, and this is America.
Come before your presence today, lifting up the arms of our president.
Is this not strange?
I think it's predictable that we're bringing in biblical prophecy, and we're almost. Do you remember there was, in his first term, he held up a Bible, I think it was upside down outside church. And there's very much this, Trump is the savior, Trump is the second coming. This is biblical prophecy. This is down to Christian nationalism. If we're going to, he was always targeting the Bible Belt, the Rust Belt, the Bible Belt in America. And clearly we can see almost, what's the word I'm looking for? It's when you get everybody revved up. We're revving people up, and the religion is playing very much into this now. And I think once you start introducing religion and placing your hands on someone's shoulders and revering them as a prophet when you've just murdered Ayatollah, whatever you think of Ayatollah Khomeini, whatever you think of the IRGC, at the end of the day, he was the supreme leader. So it would be like for us assassinating the Pope on Christmas, on Easter Sunday. That's how big this is. So during Ramadan, and then now we've got these visual images, very strong visual images from the White House, putting this whole biblical Christian prophecy, end of time, end of days, savior status on Trump. I think it's very dangerous.
And what about this this lady?
Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord.
Is this Christian value?
Not that I've witnessed, although I have seen many, some people would call them born again Christians, evangelical Christians, that do become almost overcome, and they say they're overcome with the Holy Spirit, and they do behave like this. But I mean, who was that?
So that is she's actually with Donald Trump on that first clip that I showed you. So
Wow.
she is the senior advisor to the White House Faith Office.
Look, that is like, that's where it changes the level. If this was just, I'm not saying just, I'm not trying to insult anybody here, but if this was an evangelical Christian preacher in their own area, then that's a difference from this is attached to the White House, because again, you can see this whole religious cult, if you like, being now entering the fray, and it gets extremely dangerous.
It's getting. But look, I presume you saw this, and I would imagine quite a few people have seen this. That there was basically US commanders across more than 30 military bases told troops that the Iran war is part of God's plan. It's linked to Armageddon. And a commander has said that Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon. You know, they're talking about end times.
And I mean, you know, and you and I have done quite a lot of work, and many of your podcasts talk about end times, and many people are talking about biblical prophecy and how everything's falling into line, and a lot of people are going back to not just Revelations but to Ezekiel 38, where it was predicted that Iran would be the catalyst, and the next obstacle to fall would be Damascus and then Jerusalem. And people are very much using the Bible as a map, including, it seems, the White House. So they're just I mean, I don't know an awful lot about Christian nationalism. It's something that I haven't spent a lot of time looking at, but I know enough to know that we almost get this frenetic, I don't mean it, a mob kind of attitude isn't what I mean, but it's like a frenzied, people catch it. It's like a contagion.
It's dangerous.
It goes around. It
It's
really is
extremism.
dangerous. Yeah, very. And of course, the religion thing, I mean, you know, people are doing crazy stuff at the moment, and maybe we'll come to the dancing in a minute, but you know, the religion's playing into it in UK as well. And I X'd, or I keep calling it tweeted, I happen to be watching Chairman Starmer, and he's talking about religion, only not. I thought I lived in a Church of England country. I honestly did. Yeah, let's do it. But am I living in a Church of England country?
Not anymore, you're not. Not anymore, you're not.
No, I don't think so.
Let's play Chairman Starmer.
This new geopolitical crisis. The sad fact is that some will try to use it to divide us. That's why the government is reaching out to communities across the United Kingdom, Jewish and Muslim alike, making sure that communities and places of worship have appropriate protective security in place. This new geopolitical crisis.
Yeah. So
they're protected. Synagogues and mosques are protected, but churches are burning down, and there was no mention of Christian, and there was no mention of Church of England. There was no mention of anybody other than Jewish and Muslim.
I mean, I don't know what this country has become. We talk about this every week. It's now pretty much unrecognisable from what it was when I was growing up. I don't know what to say, Debbie. I thought it was. I thought I'd seen it all, and it's getting worse. This week has been worse.
Well, this week's been absolutely catastrophic. But we've always known that COVID was the warm-up act.
Yes,
it was always the warm-up act for what is to come, because as we speak, you know, take yourself back to COVID. One of the first things I remember being reported was the cruise ship, right? There was a cruise ship, it couldn't berth, nobody wanted it, they had COVID on board, there was panic over it. But we're looking at cruise ships now that are stranded in the Middle East. So when you start looking at lockdowns, people are being told to stay indoors to get provisions. They're told that, you know, they're to prepare. This was the same as COVID. So COVID was a great data harvesting exercise where they were just warming up for this.
Yeah, clearly. And I've said it many times that 25 and 26 were going to be very interesting years as we are heading in, you know, that midpoint of 2030 agenda. Now we're seeing a big ramp up, a big one. But let's just remind some people that are watching that only a couple of weeks ago, I think we were talking about Donald Trump's Board of Peace.
Gaza Board of Peace with Tony Blair.
It's a good start, is it not?
Right.
Great. Peace. Yeah. So Venezuela.
Yeah.
After Greenland.
Yep.
Then
Ecuador, I've heard as well. Canada.
Cuba, they're on about as well. No, he said after this one, we'll go for Cuba.
Yeah.
Board of Peace, right?
Yeah.
I just want to play, and I'm going to say, if this triggers people, what I'm going to play now, then you might find yourself that you're in a bit of a cult, spelt with the letter Q, because this guy is no savior or a hero. So I'm sorry if that upsets you.
I can only reiterate. Let's have a look. What have you got?
It's a couple of minutes, I'm afraid, but let's play this montage.
I am the candidate of peace. I am peace. People don't believe that. I am peace.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
We do not want war with Iran. We actually want peace. The Iranians are clearly not very good at war. Perhaps they should follow President Trump's lead and give peace a chance.
Kamala is campaigning with warmongers like Liz Cheney. How do you think that is? She picks Liz Cheney, whose father virtually destroyed the Middle East. You know, Liz Cheney, she talks big, oh, I want war. She always wants war. Every time I was with her in the White House, we should attack this nation, that nation, nations that people never even heard of, we should attack. She's a big tough guy. She sits back in Washington, oh, we ought to go and attack Iran, Iraq. We're going to attack everybody. That's why I broke up with her. All she wanted to do is go to war with everybody. These war hawks, they want to draft your kids to die in wars, and they will never fight themselves. You know, we'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, you know, the wars that never end. These endless wars that we've been in, I've gotten us out of so many. We don't want to get into wars. We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars. No more wars. We will have prosperity and peace. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Remember, I'm the president of peace. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. He's going to start a war. I said, no, no, no. My rhetoric is going to keep us out of wars. And that's what happened. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
It goes on and on and on, to be honest with you, Debbie. But it's basically lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie.
Peace. And I wanted the soundtrack behind that to be I Am the One and Only by Chesney Hawkes, because, you know, he is so arrogant. You have to invert everything that he says. So he says he's a peacemaker. He's not. He's a war maker. He's starting wars. I think I remember saying quite a long time ago, I don't know whether it was publicly or whether it was personally in a conversation, but I felt that every morning Donald Trump wakes up like he's out of a Bart Simpson movie, and he's got like a red board in front of him, like playing whack-a-mole, and it's like waking up in the morning thinking, which red button will I hit today? Which country will I hit today? Who will I piss off today? How much carnage can I cause today? And that's precisely what he's doing. And Trump is certainly not coming in to save anybody. I mean, he's just announced there was this 6G. He's wanting to use 6G to wire people into neural implants.
That's right.
So, you know, if you think that Trump is draining the swamp, absolutely not. He is in the middle of the swamp, and he's responsible for absolute carnage that's going on in the world today. And every single thing that he's doing will impact every single person on the planet.
It literally is going to do. Literally is going to do.
Yeah,
so the US have said it was a preemptive attack on Iran.
But it's the same old spiel, isn't it, as Iraq? Yeah. You know, we're going into Iraq because there are chemical weapons. No, there weren't. Oh, well, we're going into Iran because there's nuclear and they're enriching their uranium, so they're in nuclear, and so we're going to go and destroy them. Excuse me?
It beggars belief. You know, I see posts regularly from people that I care deeply about and I really like and I really respect, and they're saying that, you know, that this sounds like this is a good idea to do this because we're going to go in and we're going to change this country for the better. Why are we so arrogant?
I don't know, but I think to myself, look, I know that the world has heard the message that the Iranian people want help. The Iranian people want the Americans to go in and all of this. However, how would we feel genuinely if another country came swooping in with a load? Is this really what is needed, what is required, what is wanted? Absolutely not. This is absolutely, but we have to understand this is all being engineered. It's all being planned.
Of course.
They've been gagging for this war for ages. Let's face it. Trump's been giving enough hints, and that's what makes me the irony of it. In that there's been so many hints. Everybody's known that this is about to kick off. Everybody's felt the tension rising in that part of the world, and yet the UK, we're not ready for it. We haven't got a military ready for it. Our residents, our citizens aren't ready for it. People wouldn't know what to do.
We can't even sort our own country out, Debbie.
We haven't got a clue.
Our country's a shithole.
It's honestly, it's madness.
We've got homeless people dying on steps of migrant hotels. We've got a massive migration problem. We've got people out of work. People can't even pay their own bills.
No.
And we're sending billions to the Ukraine. Billions.
Well, our foreign aid budget is absolutely huge.
It's insanity. We can't sort our own house out, and yet we're expected with our arrogance to go and sort somebody else's house out. Like you said, would I accept somebody coming bombing a school to get rid of Starmer?
No, and how would the locals react? How would the population react?
Exactly.
Seriously?
Yeah, that will breed radicalization. You would, if you know what I mean. I dread to think what those poor people are going through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole thing is, well, I mean, I haven't got words, but people that are saying, things are going to return to normal fairly quickly. No, they're not. No, they're not. This is going to escalate and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I can see, people are going to get trapped in all sorts of areas. People are displaced. People are worried. They're frightened. And quite rightly so. We just want a peaceful world, right? I mean,
that's it. We just want to enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a message to the world as well, because at the moment, apparently, Starmer's not talking to Trump and Trump's not talking to Starmer. They haven't spoken for 5 days, and Trump's really cheesed off with Starmer and has vocalized it quite eloquently, actually. And it's acting like children that have thrown their toys out of the pram. Only these are nuclear toys. These are dangerous toys. And I think the rest of the world should know that this is not what the British population and the British citizens ever voted for or ever wanted. And we are as frustrated, or at least many are as frustrated as you are, who are watching from other countries. We didn't want this. We didn't ask this. We don't want Starmer as our Prime Minister.
No,
we don't want it. It's tyranny.
At the end of the day, there's always going to be, and it has to be that way. People have different opinions. Some people like Starmer. Don't think there's many, but there'll be the odd few. There'll be the odd few that think he's doing a good job. Because I do read it. Some people think he's doing a good job. I don't agree with that, but I fight for the right of that individual to have that opinion, because that freedom of speech is crucially important. Now, I'm not an Iranian. I've never been to Iran. I don't know anybody who's from Iran, but I would imagine there is different people with different feelings and thoughts on how their country is run. Doesn't give us the right to go in there and bomb kids.
No, because we wouldn't want it if somebody did it to us, although we're being peacefully invaded, you see. And I have to ask how many, and I've always said, how many of the IRGC are in the UK? Because the IRGC headquarters are in London. So, how many have come over our borders? We've got I think it's 300 a day, 400 a day that are coming, because the weather's been fairly dry and we've had some blue sky. So there's been more crossings than normal. So they've been piling into Ramsgate. Well, how many of those are IRGC? So, we say, it's, well, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting times.
Isn't it?
It really is interesting times. It's crazy.
But it pulls your emotions. I'm a very emotional person. I can't help that. It's just who I am. You know, I've got a lot of love in my heart, and I care about people. Don't matter where you're from. You know,
I'm the same. But this week, I've actually been going, like, oh, it's like holding your breath every day. It's like they've done that, they've bombed there, they've attacked there. It's like, what?
You know, at the end of the day,
worse.
if you were Iran's sort of planned to defend itself, they've never gone out and attacked anyone.
No.
So they plan to defend, because they've been expecting this for years, and over 20, 30 years, from my understanding, their technology has ramped up. Now, if America would have attacked them maybe in the 80s, they might have had a chance. But right now, they seem to have, know what they're doing. They've got the drones that are taking out those missiles, like you said earlier on off camera, 50 grand drones that are taking out $1 million missiles. America potentially could run out of money. They were wanting to get this over and done with within a couple of days.
Oops.
And they potentially could run out of money before. And Iran, I was reading this morning about the America plan to maybe put troops on the ground there.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
This is.
Don't forget, we've got Zelensky offering to help as well while we're at it. I mean,
oh wow,
and he said that he was going to move children into places of safety without parental consent. And I call that child trafficking, but other people might disagree with me there. But Zelensky's getting involved now. Everybody's getting involved in this. And everybody's putting their, whether they want to be involved or whether they don't want to be involved. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, in my opinion.
Oh, Deb, it's a mess.
It really is a mess, but it's a deliberately planned, engineered mess.
It absolutely is. Before we get into that, because we've definitely got to talk about that, I found a Charlie Kirk clip, which I like to play, and then there's a couple of other clips, and I think then we should because I've got a million of these clips, I'll be honest, but we're never going to get through it. We're just never going to get through it. But I think this is a good thing to watch.
What must be done with Iran
is we must remember that we, the American government, are the reason why Iran is radical. We did this. They had a democratically elected leader that we did not like. I believe his name was Mossadegh, and we didn't like him because he wanted to nationalize the oil. Specifically, the Brits didn't like it.
50s. What year was this, PBD? Yeah, I got you. This is before the show.
Yes, he was very popular.
Yeah, gotcha.
And look right there. Even in Wikipedia, 1953 Iranian coup d'etat aided by intelligence agencies of the UK and United States.
Weird. Got it.
Okay, so then we put the Shah back in, who was sick and unpopular, meaning he was actually suffering, physically sick. And we paved the way for the most radical elements of Islam for many decades.
What must...
When do we ever take a account of ourselves? We all make, these are not just mistakes, these are calculated, horrendous atrocities taking over countries. I mean, humanity staggers me, I'll be honest. It staggers me because I don't understand it, because I can't think like that. I can't even imagine wanting to take over my next door neighbour's house, never mind somebody else's country. I don't get it.
This is where the difference is, you see. This is where I think those of us with divine spark and those of us who don't have or don't appear to have a soul, that's how they're able to do this.
It must be, Debbie, because it doesn't make sense. A true human being surely doesn't do that.
But they're not human. To me, they're not human. They're either possessed or they've been recalibrated, reprogrammed, abused.
There's a lot to it.
There's so much to it. I mean, where do we start down that rabbit hole?
Well, I know. Can we just do one more thing before we move into why we think this is happening? And I know we everyone's got their opinions. And by the way, guys, please put your opinions on the chat as well. We'd like to hear what your thoughts are on why this is happening. But there was a Marine, Brian McInness. Did you see the Marine, Brian McInness?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've got a couple of clips on that that I just want to play.
Hey guys, I'm here in DC trying to speak out against the Senate and ask them why they're going to send our men and women to harm's way when our elected officials said that there would be no world war. Anybody who feels disillusioned and betrayed by our government, you're not alone. Join us in demanding accountability for this betrayal. Free power.
This next clip's quite dramatic, isn't it? I found it very dramatic.
Yeah, so just a bit of a trigger warning.
Inability to name that shows their effectiveness as leaders. This is wrong, and nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
How strong he was.
Oh.
That was 5 people trying to hold him, trying to get him out of that room. It was shocking.
I think, you know, I put a post out yesterday, Debbie, and I shared that clip on my socials because I said that, you know, there's moments in throughout history where there are symbolic moments that stand out and people will remember. I think that's one of them.
One of them.
I think it was such that gentleman, incredibly strong man.
Incredible. I mean, just incredible. But I felt if that had been my son, watching him being watching with pride, one side of me, but the other side, watching him being manhandled and pushed, and I mean, it was quite horrific. But I thought, wow, he is super strong. I mean, I guess he's a Marine, right? But you know, 5 grown men are up against you, and you're still holding on to that door, and you're still making your voice heard. So good on him.
Good on him indeed. So why have we gone to Iran, do you think? Well, we've not yet, but I would say that we are playing our part because there were planes coming over and we're in Blackpool Airport only a couple of weeks ago, and we knew they were heading to Iran, and there were American airplanes. So we're playing our part because we were allowing that practice run to happen anyway. So we are involved.
Of course, we're involved. We're up to. I mean, to be honest, if nothing else, we are involved with, say, like the Straits of Hormuz. So if you talk about the Straits of Hormuz, it wasn't actually at first closed down. The reason that ships weren't in the Strait of Hormuz was because they didn't have war insurance. So it was all down to an insurance. You can't go into a hostile zone without insurance. Well, insurance is run, predominantly the world's insurance is run by Lloyd's. And then Trump announces, oh, no, don't worry, we'll pay the insurance.
That's right, I saw that, yeah.
The US government will pay the insurance. So ultimately, this was a massive hit on the City of London. So if nothing else, we're involved up to here because Lloyd's have taken a massive great hit, as have the City of London. So there's a million reasons why this is happening, but there's also a million reasons why it's going to go on, and it's not going to finish in, I think Trump said 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something, that he thought it would all be done and dusted. Well, I've got news for you, Donald. I don't think it will be. And political, it certainly is. Russia are very quiet, aren't they? As are China.
Is a war ever meant to end anyway?
No.
You know, because everything just continues, doesn't it? It just seems to, as long as they're keeping people downtrodden, keeping people demoralized, keep people in fear, keep people skint.
World War II's never finished. You might have stopped the bombs dropping from the sky, but the war never finished. It just metamorphosized into what we're seeing now. And it's another generation. It's the 4th turning. You know, it's what happens you have this 4th turning, 20-year blocks, and we are now at the 4th turning.
You know, but we're going to see, this is the the effects of this is massive, as we know, massive. Now they want to put in digital currencies and digital ID. A war of this a potential issue where people would lose, or countries would lose their economies very fast because of that region is pretty important, isn't it?
Very, very important. It has a massive, massive impact. I mean, for a million different reasons. I mean, I've been looking at the Middle East because I'm not an expert in the Middle East by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a gobby granny who's reading it and looking at it with completely fresh eyes. And that takes me back actually. But BBC, by the way, where's Jeremy Bowen? Because he's meant to be the Middle East correspondent, and he's completely gone to ground, as has Ed Miliband, funnily enough, considering we've got an energy crisis on our hands. So they've gone to ground. I'm not quite sure where they are. But I've been looking at the Middle East because I didn't really understand the geography of it. And I didn't really understand, if I'm honest, what the UAE was, the United Arab Emirates. You know, is it a country? What does it include? Has it got cities in it? Is it counties like we're used to? What is it? So, I mean, the impact on places like Dubai, for example, who's meant to be the safest place apparently in the world, safer than anywhere. That's why so many people move there, and 95% of the population is from other countries. So for places like Dubai, which I mean has been called a gangster's paradise by some, for that to be hit, and the UAE to be hit, and Qatar to be attacked, and Turkey to be attacked. I mean, you know, you think, oh, it's bad enough hitting the enemies, but now they're hitting their friends and their neighbours. And
Well,
it's like,
they had
well,
a plan, Debbie, didn't they?
oh, it is,
They had a
absolutely.
plan.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to see that, you know, the American bases in all of these Middle Eastern countries and tourist areas are being targeted. I'm waiting for, I mean, you've got to remember that there's not a lot of water out there. So Dubai, for example, and most of the UAE survive on desalination plants.
Exactly.
And you put out a couple of those, and the people that are trapped at the moment, especially as I'm looking at Dubai, because everybody's talking about Dubai, is phenomenal. Because people, I mean, there's a whole story about Dubai, but I mean, just very quickly, just let me tell you, because I didn't know. So the United Arab Emirates is basically 7 mini countries in one. Okay, so it's called the Emirates, but the capital of the UAE, if you like, because there's 7 mini countries, the capital is Abu Dhabi because it's the biggest, right? And then you've got Ajman, Sharjah, Al Quwain, Fujairah, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, Ras Al Khaimah, and Dubai. So Dubai is one of the Emirates, but like I say, Abu Dhabi is the biggest. So the president of Abu Dhabi is like the head of the Emirates, if you like. And then each Emirate has their own sheikh and who's in charge. And then they all meet and they make a collective decision on what they're going to do as the United Arab Emirates. But obviously the most familiar of all of those Emirates to most people is Dubai, because we've got 250,000 expats living there tax-free. But not just British expats. There's expats from pretty much every country you can possibly imagine. And they do call it, I think Australia call it their crime capital, because most of their gangsters and criminals, they all kind of hive over to Dubai and do their dealings. But Dubai was built in 55 years. And let's not forget, it's a city built on sand. It's in the middle of the desert. So it's a huge trading port as well, a massive trading port. And I'm looking here because when it started out, it was famous for pearls. That's how Dubai started. It was all pearl industry. And then they had this new currency. And then they started building a lot, and they deepening the Dubai creeks to make water more accessible. They did that. So I looked at a bit of the history. The Burj Khalifa, for example, is 828 meters tall. It houses 35,000 people. and it needs 200,000 gallons of water, which they haven't got much of, 200,000 gallons of water just to keep the tower cool, right? So it's also, Dubai is tax-free. What else can I say about it? So the airport, Dubai airport, is the biggest, most busiest airport in the world. It's even overtaken Heathrow. So it's the global aviation capital, if you like. It's a crossroads pretty much for everywhere. People go in and come out of Dubai all of the time. Now, in 4 days, 9,500 flights have been cancelled, which have affected 1.5 million people. To get out, you need more fuel because the planes are having to fly in a different direction around the zones where they're not allowed to fly. So they're paying huge amounts for kerosene. Kerosene is jet fuel, and that has risen by 95% because of the Straits of Hormuz. And if you look at, I mean, people that have known me for a while and known what I've reported on for a while will probably remember a document that was called Absolute Zero, which was 6 universities and a lot of academics put their heads together. And they said, if you want to be carbon net zero, this is what you're going to have to do. And they produced this chart. And it said basically by 2030 in the UK, there would only be 3 airports still open. Yeah, thank you. That's it. So you can see the first column, road vehicles, rail, it's all the different, loads and loads of different categories. So if you look at the third one down, flying, by 2029, all airports except Heathrow, Glasgow and Belfast closed. And then in 2030 to 2049, all remaining airports to close. And you can see the same for heating, talking about heat pumps. They're also talking about shipping. So they're going to stop all shipping. All shipping declines to 0. That's 2030 to 2049. So the only aviation that there will be available and shipping available will be electric, right? So we can see that they're basically saying you have to stop flying. And what better way to stop flying than bomb and close down a load of airports? And in Dubai, just outside Dubai, aside from aviation, which is bad enough because you can get out of Dubai if you've got enough money for a private jet, about $250,000, between $150,000 and $250,000 to get out of Dubai. But we've also got cruise ships in the area that are stuck in the Middle East. They can't go anywhere. They can't berth. They can't do anything. So we've got aviation that's disrupted just outside Dubai. We've got cruise ships that are disrupted. We've got oil tankers. Now, the oil prices in the Strait of Hormuz, the oil prices haven't gone up as much as people thought. It's probably about 15%. And the reason for that is because a lot of countries have stockpiled oil, so they're not having to rely on the Strait of Hormuz. However, gas has gone way up because they've closed have they closed or haven't they closed, or are ships just not going through? But gas is more difficult to store, and there's not enough storage facilities for the gas. So that's why gas has gone up by about, I think it's 95%. Yeah, and they say that it's because it's difficult to store gas, more difficult to store gas than oil. So the demand for oil, actually, the supply outweighs the demand at the moment for oil, but not for gas. But it's not just gas and oil that comes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's also kerosene, which is aviation fuel. And that's gone up by 95%. It's also sulfuric acid, which refines copper. So that can't come through. And it's also fertilizer. So interesting, how convenient that fertilizer. But what surprised me most, and this is how it's going to affect us as well in the NHS and in every hospital in the country, on the planet pretty much, is that Qatar supplies half the world's helium. Now, this isn't just for kids' parties, balloons. This is to run MRI scanners, and this is to run quantum computers. So let's just repeat that. Qatar supplies half the global supply of helium. And without it, you cannot run. It's cooling. It's a cooling agent. So without it, you cannot run a quantum computer, and you can't run an MRI scanner. So the knock-on effects of the Strait of Hormuz, although oil basically goes to India, China, and to the east, not as much comes to the west, it's still going to have this huge, massive effect. And we're already seeing in Dubai that supermarkets are emptied. And what I've been finding out is that there's a dark side of Dubai. So you've got all of these multimillionaires and very rich people and people that want to tax dodge and live in lovely houses and have beautiful facilities, very clean, very safe. But they've got to have people to help that make that happen. People to build the buildings, people to service the buildings, people to drive you, to clean your apartment for you, to clean the streets, to serve in the shops. So there's a dark side of Dubai which is hidden away from everybody. Yeah, let's look at this.
That you never knew existed. So after a long day's work, all the labourers are getting dropped off back to the labour camps. I'm following this fella to some labour camps. We're going to go to his house and see how these people live. Okay, and I'm here with Tanvir. How you doing, bro? You okay? So he works as an AC technician, and this is his house, his humble house. Which one is your bed? 5 person. 5 people in each bedroom. Is this one yours? Oh, okay. Oh, nice. So they got a fan, and you have AC's working, yeah? He's a technician. He'll fix it. So yeah, you got multiple people living here. It's a masjid. And how many people are living in this building?
10 block. 1 block.
Yeah.
4 and 500.
4 and 500, okay. Oh wow, quite a few.
5,000.
5,000, oh wow, a lot of people. And are they doing the cleaning? The people clean?
Clean.
Okay, and your toilet, where is your toilet? Toilet, yeah. Toilet's not too bad.
All buildings, toilet.
All the buildings, oh wow, oh no way, oh bloody hell. So if you look down here, you can see how many buildings there are. Blocks and blocks. How many buildings? Yeah.
10 block, 9 block, 1 block.
10 blocks, yeah?
Yes.
Wow, man. So yeah, you can... We're on the end block, as you can see, look. It goes on forever, doesn't it?
So thanks to the help of a few people that donated and my good friend Hussein, we managed to source food packs for some of the locals that lived there.
So we've got 150 boxes, and right now we're struggling to get people in the line.
In life, it's encounters like this that truly make you appreciate what you've been given. The fact of the matter is, if you were born into a thriving economy, which most of the people I know are, you're privileged, and are given opportunities that most of the people in the world don't have. So instead of giving into your hedonistic urges and always wanting more in life,
the hidden side of Dubai, people don't see that side of Dubai, the slave industry, the trafficked industry, because you know what, those workers, when they come into Dubai, they're offered 9-to-5 job, great wages, send plenty of money home, good lifestyle. But when they arrive, they have their passports taken away from them. Let's repeat that. They have, and there's no human rights in Dubai, by the way. So they have their passports taken away from them. Their 9-hour shifts now increased to 15-hour shifts. They're working in 130 degrees of heat. Many are dying of heat exhaustion or suicide, and they can't get out because they haven't got their passports, and they're being paid an absolute pittance. So whilst you've got all of these social influencers saying how amazing the UAE government are and how amazing the officials are and how good the communication is and how everybody's looking after them, you have to think, are they being paid? Because you're not allowed to post anything that shows Dubai in a poor light. If you do, you can be imprisoned. So when you look at the people that live there, and I mean, Isabel Oakeshott lives in Dubai, and Middleton and his family live in Dubai because it's a safe place to go. So when you look at them and you hear them saying, oh, it's very safe and we wouldn't come back, we couldn't, well, they couldn't anyway, unless they charter a plane. You hear them, and then you hear the tourists are going, we want to get out of here. We're going to do anything we can to get out of here. And they're trying to get over to the border to Amman. They're trying to organize visas. They're looking at 12-hour trips, trying to find a taxi or a car that will take them. I mean, there are an awful lot of people that are desperate. And the British government have basically turned around and gone, There's nothing really. We'll try and maybe send a plane. I mean, they can't even send a ship, for goodness sake, to protect Cyprus. So what makes you think they're going to get a plane? My son was one of the last people into the country during the lockdown, and he was in Panama at a festival and had no idea that all of this COVID thing was going on. So he was one of the last people back in to Heathrow. And I remember phoning the consulate, phoning the embassy, hour after we got nowhere. The British government weren't interested. And the Saudi ambassador stood up and basically said, don't bother to register. We don't really need to know where you are. Just stay indoors, get provisions. The supermarkets apparently are emptying. People are panic buying. And apparently, I think it's 1 year in prison, arrest, and a huge fine if you're seen to be broadcasting anything that's seen to be derisory to Dubai. So there's an awful lot to say about Dubai, an awful lot to say. Unfinished projects, and there's a lot of Brits, and expats that are in prison in Dubai. What's happening to them? Because if you go bankrupt, if you go over to Dubai and you become bankrupt or you get into debt, you can be arrested and thrown into prison. So you have your passport taken away from you. So I don't know how many British are in prison in Dubai. I've got no clue, but everybody's keeping very quiet. But it's interesting because the sheikhs are all fleeing. They're all leaving the UAE and they're off to Liechtenstein, apparently.
Just watching that footage. So, I mean, watching that footage, it breaks my heart. I'll be honest with you. That people shouldn't have to live like this.
No, and people don't realise. You see, they fly into Dubai and they see the Burj Khalifa and they see all this amazing clean streets and all the rest of it. There's a dark side. There's always a dark side. And this side that you were just watching then is completely fenced off so that the tourists and the people that move there don't see it.
Horrendous. Absolutely awful. Before we move away from Iran, just a couple of things. I mean, the Cyprus thing is an interesting one because it's turns out it wasn't Iran that was doing that either. So there's a false flag event there to bring us into the war, and
but we're ready. We're all ready. Don't worry, because we're going to send a ship. Oh, sorry, it's not ready to go yet.
No, it's not.
It's going to take 2 weeks. It's going to take 2 weeks. Oh, don't worry though. The Netherlands and France, they'll all help us. They'll all send their ships. And you know what? When the chips are down, the people in Dubai, for whatever we've said about Dubai today, if there's an air raid siren that goes on, they all go down to the basement. They all know where they have to go. Everybody knows what they have to do. Same in Russia. Everyone knows what to do. Do any of us know what to do? If something happened here, where would we go? We haven't been told. We've been told to stock up on food. We've been told to stock up on essential medications, etc. But we haven't been told to go anywhere. I suppose we'll be told to stay indoors, just like COVID. Will we?
Just get plenty of toilet paper, 2020 toilet paper. That's what you want. Just stock up.
But I would say though, not being funny, I would say to people, if you happen to be passing a petrol station, perhaps just top up your tank when you pass.
I read yesterday as well that in July the energy prices are going to go up 10%.
I thought Keir Starmer said they were going down.
Well, they can blame it on the Iran war.
Of course, that's convenient, isn't it?
Of course it's convenient. Of course it is. Just ending on the Iran thing, though, you may have seen as well that an unarmed Iranian ship was invited to take part in an Indian naval exercise alongside the United States. It was completely unarmed. And as it went away, the Americans put a torpedo right through it. Right. It just staggers me what goes on. Staggering. Is that not?
You cannot make this up.
It's frightening. But the White House put a big bit of footage on this ship going down. It was an unarmed testing situation.
But how sick. They're taking pleasure. They're taking pleasure in watching this.
It makes me sick.
It makes me sick too. It makes me. And did you see David Lammy? He was talking about Cyprus, and he said, "Well, no, Cyprus is a NATO nation. It's not." NATO. David.
I saw that.
Hello, wake up.
I saw that as well.
they think we're stupid. And this is what I did put out an X, and I said, dear Keir Starmer, I really do think you're stupid, because they're talking about now clean air in schools and how they're going to make it. I mean, honestly, they think we are stupid.
Speaking of the UK, let's rattle through a little bit of this. So yesterday, we're also told that families of failed asylum seekers are going to be offered £40,000 to leave Britain voluntarily. Let's just play this little clip. Yeah, let's play this clip.
Our own system has faced immense pressure. Since the small boats first arrived, nearly 200,000 people have come to this country across the Channel. Today, over 100,000 people live in asylum accommodation paid for by the taxpayer. And this includes both those awaiting an asylum claim or an appeal, and also thousands who have failed their claims but cannot be returned to their home country. The pressure on the taxpayer is vast. Last year alone, £4 billion was spent on asylum accommodation. Our own system has faced immense pressure.
So the answer is what, Debbie?
For you to pay your tax, and for your tax to go straight into the pocket of somebody that's arrived here illegally and has to go home but can't afford to. You got to pay for them for the rest of their life, really. 40,000. Nice little earner, eh?
Honestly.
They'll all be coming over for that.
I literally, every day, I shake my head of the utter madness we are in.
It's wicked. It's absolutely wicked. And do you know what, though? I mean, we see it, and those that are watching see it. But there are so many people that don't. They still actually don't see it.
It's mental. Now, I sent you this the other day. I only come across it. I didn't realise that the UN had a document out there for replacement migration. And you can find this if you so wish. It's a PDF document on basically, as it says, replacement migration is a solution to declining and aging populations. It's a document on there. It's on the UN. You can find it. It's not made up. This is a plan. And it's playing out.
Kalergi as well. You know, we're not allowed to talk about. Oh, don't say Kalergi.
I know.
Yeah, and you know the Germanics, the white populations, only 7%. Tiny percentage of the population, and yeah, it's there. It's all there, but everything is there. They put all of the information out. It's just a case of you're the one that has to fiddle about with the jigsaw to piece it all together and make some sense out of it. But all the information is out there.
It's just utterly mental. We've got more mental to show you if you've not already seen it. If what we've shown you already hasn't angered you.
Oh no, I know where you're going. I'm ready to explode.
Are you ready for this one?
I am ready to explode.
Okay, let's play it.
Shot. 2, 3, shot. Very good. Then from there, we're going to do something else. So let's go from the beginning to there. I can't believe I'm
So while the world burns, they're all dancing and having a bit of a laugh.
Woo! That's Portcullis House. So Portcullis House is attached to the to Westminster and to the House of Commons, and it's where a lot of the MPs have their offices and stuff, and clearly now want to dance. But it got me thinking, you know, because it's not that long ago, is it, since we had the dancing nurses. It's not that long ago since we had the dancing doctors, the dancing paramedics. We've got the dancing Hannah Green MP. She's been dancing. Now we've got this.
She was there dancing as well in the background.
Yeah,
she was there.
Yeah. Looking like a clown. Well, actually, she was with a mate. She was wearing that yellow kind of orange thing. And she had a mate that I can't remember her name, was wearing purple. And they looked like a couple of Teletubbies, to be quite honest. But it kind of inspired me into dancing. It's like, what is it about dancing? So keep your eyes out on Camp 3, because I've got a few articles to go up over the next few days. One of them's calling dancing into disaster. And there's quite a dark history when it comes to crisis situations and how they use behavioral science in dance because of the rhythm, because of the ritualistic, the drum beat. Yeah, it's pretty dark. But that with Lindsay Hoyle and Andrew,
Lindsay bloody Hoyle.
Can they not, honestly, can they not see? Can they not read the room? Really?
They're not bothered about the room. Otherwise, they don't give a rat's ass. Just to take this to another anger, where a UK government are now making advertisements which feature terrified children.
Oh, when
are we going to leave the kids out of this stuff? Anyway, if you've not seen it,
have you got that piece of video? It's shocking.
I just got all my devices taken away by the police. My mum couldn't believe it. I might get a criminal record and not be able to go to college. I only shared a link. I just thought it was funny. But it was terrorist content. And that is not a game. It's real life. I just got all my devices.
Oh, you're muted, Ant, or at least I can't hear you.
Sorry, frightening, I'm saying. Absolutely frightening what's going on.
Do you know, I just don't have any more words anymore, because the more I see, you know, and whilst we're all looking at Iran and we're talking about Dubai and we're talking about Ukraine and all the rest of it, this is going on in our very own country, right underneath our noses. We've got 4-year-olds who are being taught to masturbate. We've got children who are performing, because even though that lad, I mean, to be fair, he wasn't a terribly good actor, in my opinion, and it all seemed very, very overly dramatic, which I know that it was intended to be, but it is absolutely shocking that we are showing our children, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. You know, this is why you and I, Ant, this is why we do what we do. We don't do it for fame, acclaim, money, anything. We don't even do it for anyone to buy us a coffee. We just do it because we're that worried about our children's future and the future of humanity. And if that is what children are going to see now, then there's no hope. There's absolutely, when are the British public, I mean, come on, folks, when is everyone going to actually stand up and do something? Because like you and I have said many times before, we thought it was when they started going to jab the babies. We thought that's when people would wake up, but I'm fast approaching now that even with the kids, nobody really cares. And it's not going to be until they go to the ATM and they find out they haven't got any money, that's when they'll wake up. But when it comes to the kids, they don't really care. They don't really care, as we're seeing with the whole Epstein thing, which is conveniently been buried, hasn't it? Although apparently today a whole load of new papers which will have the allegations with Trump have been released. So I don't know what's going to come out in the next couple of days.
Isn't the Iran conflict very good timing in terms of the Epstein thing? Because this is
100%.
You know, it's all. Yeah, of course it is. I mean, nobody's been talking about it while the Clintons were being sort of like taken to task this week.
See them. I mean, Hillary Clinton. I mean, there's so many clips of Hillary Clinton either walking out or arguing or having a go or sitting there going, no, 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 no. I mean, it was the most bizarre performance ever. But yeah, that's all been buried, as has the royals. You know, the royals. Should we have a quick 2 minutes on the royals?
We can do, but let me. Can I just play this clip, just to lighten the load, because it's been a very heavy Camp 3 today.
It is a heavy Camp 3.
Just to lighten the load. Here is Hillary Clinton.
Behavior. Oh, for heaven's sake. So I would like to understand how that's permissible. It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a conversation
for now.
Brilliant. But I mean, she's outrageous, and so her husband as well. You know, he was there being
he's a disgrace.
Too.
Absolute disgrace. They're showing him photographs, and he's smiling and oodling over his lawyers trying to take the photographs off him while he's like desperately trying to keep looking at these things. The guy is a disgrace.
Honestly, it's in plain sight. It's horrible.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, yes, Carry on, Debbie. Sorry, I interrupted
No,
you.
no. It just plays. It segues quite nicely into. Let's just give me. I know we're running out of time, and it's gone 3 o'clock. But let me just give you a quick rundown on the royals. So it's been interesting because Princess Beatrice has been photographed with an alleged Chinese spy. This was in Nepal.
Oh.
And a chap called Ben Elliott. I'm very keen on Ben Elliott, not. A chap called Ben Elliott seems to be involved in this. And Ben Elliott was, he is Queen Camilla's nephew. Queen Camilla's sister, Annabelle, that's her son. And I did an awful lot of work on Ben Elliott for another broadcaster, and he got censored on Ben Elliott. Ben Elliott went to Eton. It's coming back to the Eton set. And he was very close to the Russians, Chinese oligarchs. He used to sell meetings with the king, his uncle, the king. So the fact that Beatrice is involved with all of this, and Ben Elliott is also involved in all of this. He was also Tory party chairman, big fundraiser. I think he was head of waste with the Conservative government at one point as well, and part of the Oswald's nightclub, 5 Hertford Street, all sorts of things on with. I'll have to do a special on Ben Elliott since I was censored from doing it before. Raised eyebrow. So we've got that going on. We've got William and Kate seem to have exiled Beatrice and Eugenie completely because they have been up to all sorts of things and using money from the whole Epstein scandal, and were very friendly with Ghislaine Maxwell. So the girls, as everybody calls them, although they're in their 40s, late 30s, 40s, the girls are being kind of quickly ousted from the royal family. Meanwhile, Andrew's still on suicide watch, but he's a bit of a couch potato. Apparently he wanders around in his dressing gown most of the morning watching films. He's a real film buff, but he's not allowed to ride his horses now because he's not really allowed to.
Has he got people still arranging his teddy bears on his bed?
I would presume so. Yeah, I would presume so. He's in Wood Farm. He didn't go to Marsh Farm in the end. Wood Farm was where his father spent a lot of time, Prince Philip. So he's having a bit of a quiet couch potato life, while Sarah apparently is staying with friends if she's not in the wellbeing clinic. She's staying with friends and trying to keep a low profile. But there is rumour that she is going to hit the public scene again. So goodness knows what she'll bring out. But maybe she will return to public life. So that's a tiny little roundup of the royals, and just a very, very quick little roundup on the NHS, because nobody would forgive me if I didn't look at the NHS because there's so much going on.
Absolutely.
So whilst the UK seems to have rode back a bit on the assisted dying bill, although I'm still not convinced that it's going to be shelved, I'm still convinced it's going to metamorphosize its way into something else. So it's not over yet. But meanwhile, Jersey has approved assisted dying. I'm so sorry for everybody there in Jersey, but we need to acknowledge that has happened. And we're all getting geared up, ready for the flu jab now, 1st of October. Whoop, whoop. And NHS staff, people working in the care sector, you are going to be asked to take it. Now, I don't know whether it'll be compulsory. I don't know whether it'll be mandatory. I don't know whether you'll be allowed to refuse it. But staff and anybody entering the NHS will be asked to take the flu jab. Now, dental appointments, we know they're like rocking horse poo. So they're going to be increased. But however, the definition of what an appointment offer will be is going to be changed. So I can imagine the appointments will decrease because they're going to change the definition. Very clever. And then we've got our public health minister, Ashley Dalton. She stepped down from her job today, public health minister, because she's got cancer. A lot of people have got cancer, and I've noticed an awful lot of young people, including Jonathan Ashworth, MP, who used to be shadow Labour Health, I think, Jonathan Ashworth. He's had a stroke, and he's very young. He's only in his 40s. So awful lot of young people having strokes, awful lot of young people having heart attacks. We're seeing an increase of defibrillators in the community. I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty going on in the NHS, and I will do some more on the NHS for next week. But obviously today was dominated by what's going on in the Middle East and how it will impact us. MRIs, helium, Qatar.
Energy, migration.
China, fuel, antibiotics, India, pharmacy of the world. You know, how's this going to affect the pharmaceutical pipeline? How's it going to affect the health pipeline? How's it going to affect the economic? And it's already hit City of London with Lloyd's. So a lot more to come, I think.
It's not good. I do apologise for the very deep, dark topics that it's been this week, but
It's reality, I'm afraid.
we've got to cover them. But we do like to try and lighten the load. I've got a couple of clips to try and just let's breathe through and lighten the load a bit. And
Let's do it.
the Crew Kern Gazette becoming a bit of a favourite. If you don't follow the Crew Kern Gazette, we'll give them a shout out. I mean, they use AI, but they do put out some pretty funny things sometimes. So we've got one that relates to this week's topic, and then I've got a song, a bit of a Dallas thing at the end for us all to just lighten the load. I hope everybody has a great weekend, whatever you're doing. One thing that's really important is we've got to enjoy life, because the biggest way of getting back at these assholes is to enjoy life, because they certainly don't want us to do it.
No.
And let's try and come together as communities. Let's try and do that and enjoy life and be human, you know. If they allow us a bit more sunshine occasionally as well, get outside and enjoy the sunshine. But let's end that. Thanks, Debbie, as always. Thanks for everyone watching.
Thanks everybody for watching. Please share. Our numbers are starting to go up, so thank you so much if you're sharing.
Indeed, thank you so much. Okay, let's play these clips, and thanks again.
David, we need to do something about Iran. Do we have any ships we can send?
I don't think we do. Oh wait, there is one at Portsmouth. What's it called?
The HMS Victory?
Yes, Keir. That's the one. We will send the Victory to Iran.
Great idea, David. Oh, David, isn't this joyous? To follow in the footsteps of Nelson himself.
Nelson Mandela was Britain's greatest admiral.
Man, the cannons.
The cannons don't even work!